if you're buying a $300,000 home, as an example. Plus insurance and escrows. What are escrows? Escrows are your taxes, your insurances. In most cases, the lender would like you to escrow those figures. If you're putting more than 20% down, it's not typically required, but you're going to pay a fee to waive. And the reason you pay a fee to waive is when the loans are sold on the secondary market, the premium for that loan goes down by roughly 1/4% if you don't escrow. The lenders like you to escrow because they don't have to worry about tax liens, so they don't have to worry about the insurance lapsing. So they pay a premium for an escrowed account. So if you talk to a lender and they say, well, you don't want escrow? Well, you got to pay a 1/4 point. That's just normal. Don't yell at your lender. That's just the way it works on the secondary market. Okay? So escrows, they're going to want to see your first year's insurance. So when you're going to want to see roughly 4 months of taxes collected at closing. They're going to want to see roughly 2 months of insurances collected at closing. Reserves must have 2 to 6 months PITI for all properties, as we discussed. Here's a kind of an example of closing costs. So what you might see on a transaction, single-family investor purchase of $125,000. Okay, appraisal. Now, appraisal on an investment property is a little higher. On a single-family property, it's about $375. On an investment property, it could be anywhere from $450 to $550. The reason being is the investment transaction requires 2 additional addendums to the appraisal. One of them is a Fannie Mae 216, which is an operating income statement, and the other one, and what the appraiser does is he actually goes and figures out like a profit and loss statement on that property based on the rents and the expenses to the property, and the other is a rental analysis. The neat thing about that is he's going to go out to the market for you and tell you what that unit is going to rent for, based on what other homes like that are renting for in that market. Credit reports, $25, title fees, and Ido did a great job of explaining how the title fees work out, so I don't have to go into too much of that. State taxes, which are the transfer taxes that Ido was talking about. Your first year's insurance policy. Neat thing about landlord insurance is it's a little cheaper than homeowner's insurance because you're not insuring the contents. Initial insurance escrow, $600. Lender fees. This could be, depending on your lender, it could be anything. It could be $700, it could be $1,800, it could be anything. Obviously, you want to shop, make sure you get a good price. Survey on the property, anywhere from $325 to $500. Title insurance, again, you did a great job on this one. Recording fees to record the mortgage. Average I'm seeing is about $230 to $250 because these mortgages have about 10 pages on them or more. Initial tax escrow, because we're going to collect about 4 months. Taxes are due in November. So if you're closing in April, you're going to get a credit from the seller, but we're still going to collect the number of months necessary, though there's enough in that escrow account to pay the tax bill in November. Your total out of pocket in this particular scenario is $33,000. Other cash considerations. Down payment cannot be gifted or borrowed for investment transactions. We're going to ask for 2 months bank statements. And one of the things about bank statements when we do that, we're going to want to look at all the deposits that go into your account. This is now a requirement. It's not the lender's requirement, believe it or not, it's Fannie or Freddie's. In addition to your payroll deposits or other income deposits, they're going to, if you've got $5,000 as a deposit on your bank account, we want to know where it came from. 2 reasons for that. Patriot Act is part of it. We want to make sure that the money's coming from a legitimate source. You're not laundering drug money, or you're not financing terrorism, doing something weird through the real estate transaction. We also want to make sure it's not a loan. I had a customer that, probably about a year ago, very evasive about a $7,000 deposit on his account. 3 weeks he put us off trying to explain it. Then it comes out it's a loan, and because the payment on that loan was so much, the debt ratios were gone, and we couldn't do a loan. Like, you told me from the get-go, you wouldn't have had to spend $375 on an appraisal that you just threw away. But that's why we do that. The seller can contribute a maximum of 2% toward closing costs. On a primary residence FHA loan, they can do 6%. On a conventional loan with 5 or 10% down, they can do 3%. But on investment properties, it's a 2% maximum. Now, a lot of times that 2% can help you make sure you've got enough money to close. Talk to your real estate agent when you're making an offer and say, you know, I'd really like a little help with the closing costs. I've got much less money out of pocket. It's a great way to do it. Retirement accounts can be used for reserves. You don't have to use them, you just have to show them. We'll use 60% of the value. Talk a little bit about the collateral. We do an appraisal. That appraiser is charged with determining what the market value is of the property and the condition. Why did I say market value like that? It's because everybody thinks their home is a castle. It's like, hey, I just put in these great wood floors, I just put it on a new roof. Okay, that third room, new roof cost me $30,000. That should be $30,000 more to my house, right? Does that work that way, Kristen? They get about 10 cents on the dollar for a new roof because that's considered a maintenance item. Now, if they add a bedroom, add a bathroom, add square footage, much bigger gain on the investment. But what we're going to do is the appraiser is going to go out and find properties that are as close to similar, as close to exact as the subject. They're going to look at room counts, square footage, they're going to look at pools, they're going to look, is it waterfront, is it not waterfront, how updated is it? And they're going to find as many comparables as possible, usually up to 6. They'll take 4 sales, 2 listings, to determine not only what the value is, based on those other sales that are like it, but also what the trend in the neighborhood is with the 2 listings. You know, if you're buying this place for $150,000 and there's 2 listings that are just like it, 125, what do you think is going to happen to your appraised value? It's going to go down. So we're going to watch that. They're going to look at the house and see if there's any health and safety features or issues on the property. We're going to look and see if there's any maintenance or deferred items, what the overall condition. A property that's in fair condition won't get financing, at least not conventional. We're going to use, and this is a common question I get, hey, it appraised at $50,000 more than I'm paying for it. Can we base the loan on that? No. We're going to base it on the lower of the 2. We're going to look for termites, wood rot, mold, etc. If you're a seller and you got termites, sweep up before the appraiser gets there. I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Oh wait, I'm being recorded.
I heard that.
Repair credits cannot be on the HUD. This is a common issue. I'll see a contract, and of course the standard part of our contract allows a space in there where you can allow for a repair credit, but the lender does not want to see it on the HUD. They don't want to see any credits from the seller to the buyer on the HUD. It's considered a concession. What they will do, let's say you do a $5,000, you've got a $100,000 purchase, and there's a $5,000 repair credit. All of a sudden your sales price just became $95,000 and the loan is 80% of that. Even though you still have to pay the seller $100,000. Okay? That's how those are handled. Anticipated rents are also reported on the appraisal. And the operating income statement. So we talked a little bit about maximum number of properties financed. Now, if you're buying a primary residence, doesn't matter how many you have financed. If you're buying a second home or an investment property, some lenders will limit you to 4, others 10. And this is one reason we have multiple investor capabilities so that we can go to that one if we need to. And if you've got more than 10, I go to my community bank. What is a second home and what is an investment property? This was, now I lived through the 2000 to 2007 decade that everybody went crazy with. Everybody in Coral Springs was buying a second home, sometimes 3 and 4 of them, in Pompano Beach.